Nobody's gonna have any problem understanding who everybody's dressed in dark clothes except for me. I decided I would dress in brighter clothes. How is everybody?
Doing good, man.
Good. This was not intentional. I guess they say great minds think alike.
Well, I don't have a great mind clearly, but I'll change and I'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Well, or at least the three of us were on the same page this morning. How about that?
Very good. Well, I had a great time last night. I got to watch the movie No Running, and congratulations. I know you have your Tribeca Film Festival online, I guess, right? Online premiere on June 11th. Tickets are available now at 8 p.m. in Eastern time. So I just want to get that out of the way right away so we can talk about the film a little bit. First of all, we have actor Skylan Brooks. And I remember Skylan very well from the inevitable defeat of Mr. and Pete and Crown Heights, right? You were in that as well, weren't you?
Yep.
Two movies I really enjoyed. So it's great to see you in this film in the lead role too. Again, well, you're usually in the lead role, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm around, I guess.
And you're ironically, in the terms of the film scene, you're the veteran, because I know from Delmar, this is the first feature, right?
Absolutely.
That you directed. And I know this is the first screenplay that Tucker has written, which is pretty amazing considering. So there's no question in that, but I just wanted to point out what great it has to be very it has to be very exciting for you to get this film into Tribeca.
Oh, absolutely. It's very humbling as well. I mean, like you said, Skylan is the veteran of amongst us, and he humbled himself to come and give me the opportunity to work with him, and it was such a joy. You know, Skylan is like like you said, he's a G. You know, but it was a pleasure. You know, him and I we had a lot of conversations going into the film, and even while working on the film together, and we gelled. You know, the minute that he came into the audition, well, he didn't really audition, but he came in, he nailed it. You know, it was a process, but he came in. He was always at the top of the list, and again, you know, him and I we connected immediately.
Tucker, you wrote the screenplay again. What was the inspiration for this? I mean, I know from reading some of the background notes I know that Delmar has very strong feelings about some of the themes in this film.
Yeah, so I always go back to my roots. I was actually adopted and grew up in a very white community.
Right, and
so
you were raised in Vermont, the whitest state in the country, I think.
yeah, one of the whitest states, exactly.
Yeah.
So from an early age, I was really hyper aware of how I was perceived and how people saw my color before by a person. And so the story evolved from me thinking about scenarios I was in the past. And in this instance, it was if I had been at a party and left the party with a girl, and the girl disappeared mysteriously, what would happen to me? And then beyond that, Get Out was a huge influence. So I looked at how you could inject sci-fi and horror with social commentary, and speak about real issues while entertaining. If that makes sense.
It does. I mean, I can see it when I'm thinking back on watching it. The sense that you're never really quite safe. There's always some underlying tension there. And who can you trust? I mean, you know, those things.
Exactly. That's the Black experience. That's the Black experience in a nutshell. You're always navigating a society where you might not be welcome in all situations. And that's the Skylan Brooks character, is him trying to figure out how to save himself when he knows the criminal justice system isn't going to treat him kindly. So.
Right. Yeah. How did you and Delmar end up collaborating? Did you guys know each other, or?
We didn't. I actually saw Delmar's short film. What is the title, Delmar, of it?
Work from Home.
What is it called?
Yeah, and I was like,
Called Worlds from Home.
Okay.
Worlds from Home, yeah. So, and I was like really into it. Like I was sold immediately before I even met him. And the producers actually brought him on, and then we met, and it immediately felt like a match, you know.
A little bit of, I think, can everybody see me here? Okay, I got cut off a little bit, but hopefully.
You got cut off a little bit, Tucker.
Sorry. Can you repeat that last bit again? So just so we don't miss out.
I just felt like immediately we were.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Got a bit of trouble with that. Let me switch gears though to Delmar, you could probably tell her too. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Tucker, we're having a little trouble with the signal, but
yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll get it.
I'll piggyback on what Tucker was saying.
Thank you.
You know, as he mentioned, I was coming off a short film called Worlds from Home, and the producers saw the film, and they reached out to me with several projects that I read. And being as though, you know, the state of the world we in, with a lot of police brutality and the racial and social injustice, you know, it has an effect on me, you know. And when I read Tucker's film, No Running, I thought that he did an elegant job at intersecting fact and fiction and mystery, you know, subtly. And like he mentioned earlier, you know, telling the story about young Black boys. Unfortunately, when we're in situations, we're looked at as outsiders, and our skin becomes the crime, you know. So for me, it was personal. You know, I have a 16-year-old son who, you know, goes to school every day, rides his bike. We live in a small town, and he also is an outsider. So I wanted to, you know, work on this movie because I felt like this could bring light to, you know, other young men like Jaylen, and allow their voice to be validated.
Yeah, you wrote. In fact, I mean, I was lucky. I'm glad I got to read the press notes before we talked, because you actually said something that was pretty striking in there. You said, being born Black in America is to be born with a preordained life sentence. I mean, that's even, I think, even more striking a thing to say than, you know, just even being aware, hyper aware, and hyper cautious when you're, you know, driving around or interacting with people or in a public place or what have you. I mean, what you're saying there is kind of already, this is like, it's sort of saying that there's no way, kind of like there's no way out of it. It's kind of it sounds a little bleak, but.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting you said that, because No Running for me feels like there's no way out of it. Like we all have to stop and face like what's chasing us. And in my opinion, I believe that the film represent that. It represent exposing one of America's biggest hates, you know, or biggest, you know, and I think that we all have to stop and address it, you know.
Yeah, you should. It's too bad you don't have. Are you going to be able to do a virtual Q&A, you guys, or something along those lines? Because it'll be great to have the conversation. I mean, this film really provokes the conversation, which is one of the beautiful and gratifying aspects of doing a festival, right? I mean, is that you get to do typically a live and Q&A or something, and then engage with the audience. You know, it's. But so will you be able to do that virtually after this? Or you have a virtual press conference or something?
Yeah, we did do a small virtual interview.
Sorry, Skylan, I don't mean to ignore you at all.
I'm
Please.
enjoying the conversation.
Okay. Well, you could jump in anytime, but I wanted to ask you, like, how did this script come get in front of you? Somebody who works for you probably handed it to you and said, "Look at this one," or I mean, and what goes into what goes into your filters, like in terms of selecting a project like this?
If you ask my agents, they'd probably say I'm picky.
Would they guide you away from something like this?
Wait, say that again?
That's kind of, I mean, maybe I'm putting you in an awkward position. I said, would they guide you away from a project like this? Or do you feel like, did they encourage you to take this project? I don't know how you can answer that, but I'm kind of putting you in a position. It's
Without stepping on toes, no. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So they actually sent me the script and said that it's something that they felt that I might be interested in. And I looked at it, I read it, and when I took a read through, this was one of those scripts where it actually struck me and I couldn't stop reading. So I was very intrigued by that, and I felt like I was being spoken for on an aspect that I didn't really know how to explain or even have a conversation with.
Oh, so you think that the story spoke to you? Is that what you said?
Yeah. The story definitely spoke to aspects of experiences in my life. Mm-hmm. So I related to the character, and my preparation was more so, how do I, in a realistic sense that feels real, extract my experiences and add them to the character so that other people can relate or they can understand that fear or that anxiety of what if. You know, how do I get out of it?
Right. Did you have conversations with Tucker at any point? I mean, I know you probably had a lot of conversations with Delmar naturally, but I was wondering, Tucker, were you around during the production? I don't know if you can. There you
are. Yeah, I was around a little bit. I feel like these conversations happened throughout the entire production. Mm-hmm. I think
because he kind of is representing you, right, in a certain way, at a certain level, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, when we had our first table read, I remember when you walked in, I was like, "This is Jaylen in the flesh," you know. And I think the way everyone basically the Black experience is universal. So even without having conversation, I feel like we could all just relate to the material, if that makes sense. But yeah, it was just a constant conversation throughout the production.
Well, I mean, I hope you feel, it's like, what are you going to say? I keep coming up with these questions that you have no choice but to say, yes, I think the film came out great. But Delmar, Tucker rather, this seems like such a personal story for you. So I just to see it realized and then so well directed by Delmar and acted by Skylan, and then now in one of the big, if not one of the biggest film festivals in the country, and a lot of people are going to see it. So that must feel pretty good.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. There's a plumber just arrived at my house, but no, this has been it's really.
I know the feeling. Yeah, I actually. I had guys working outside, and the power was down till about a half hour ago, so I was kind of sweating.
Yeah, but I'll sort that out after. But yeah, it's been a pretty surreal experience, especially on the first script. I don't know. I'm at loss for words. When I got the call that we got into Tribeca, it just felt just, I guess, surreal, that my, little story vision came to life.
Right.
And thank you, Delmar, for making this happen. It's been quite the ride. But yeah, it's been all I can say. It's been amazing.
Thank you. I know we have to wind down. You guys have a busy probably day. But I had a lot more I want to say. I want to hear about I know, Delmar, you're collaborating with Dave Chappelle on a future project. At least we can get that much out let people know. And just to encourage people to get their ticket for No Running. Go to the Tribeca Film Festival website, search No Running. And again, it's on screening on June 11th at 8 o'clock. And I hope our paths cross again, guys. It was really nice to meet you, despite a couple of technical problems.
Thank you so much. This was amazing.
Thank you very much, Tucker. Really nice. Skylan, best of luck with everything, and I'm sure we'll do this again soon. There you are.
Hey, soon. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Delmar, really nice meeting you. Good luck with the film and the whole
Thank you so much.
trajectory of the film.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Take care.